I want to call upon fellow leaders to please respect our judiciary. I have watched the last few days, there are cabinet ministers who have made the judiciary a punching bag, that because they are not convicting those they consider to be their political enemies, they want to turn the heat on our judiciary. I want to remind them that power is temporary, that there will come a time that they will not be in power and they will rely on a judge to keep them from abusers of power like themselves as they are doing right now. Kwa hivyo tuheshimu mahakama, tuache kuwasukuma na kusema ati sababu tuko na mchafuko hapa na pale ya kisiasa ni kwa sababu watu wafungwe. I plead with our judiciary to be fair and firm. If you have somebody who have broken the law, let them be convicted. But do not convict people on the whims of people who are drunk with power.
Wishi yake ilikuwa ni kuona kwamba hustlers wamewekwa pamoja. Na watu wa London Ward hawakutudisappoint. Mukashika sisi kabisa na mukatupatia heshima. Mukatupatia nzuki under UDA. Tunawashukuru sana. With the same spirit, tunawaomba kwa heshima. Ile wakati ingine, simuangalie huyu jamaa William Ruto pia akue president wakati huo wa 2022. Hivyo tu, hiyo tu ndio imetuleta hapa, lakini kwa sababu ya hiyo manjozi, tungezungumza mengi. Lakini hata nyinyi mnaona, sarakasi ni nyingi. Hata kule kumewaka. We will stand tall. We will be standing tall na tutashinda. Mushikilie hivyo. William Ruto for president. Hiyo siwezi sahau.
Mimi leo hii nimeleta tu risala ya rambirambi as a House of Jubilee. Wala ambao wanatishia sisi kwa sababu ya handshake ni kama imekuwa blackmail. Mkitaka kutoka, tokeni kwa amani, polepole, taratibu. Sisi tuko na shida mingi ambayo inatukaba. Kwa hivyo nyinyi mtoke kwa amani, polepole, wacheni kutuletea kisirani. Nobody knew when you went to Harambee House. You tiptoed to Harambee House polepole. Kwa hivyo hata wakati wa kutoka tiptoe polepole, toka. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Kupongeza pia London Ward. Hii mahali tumeketi ni London Ward. Nataka kusema shukrani sana wananchi wa London Ward. Mliweza kupiga kura na mkatupatia firstborn ambaye ingawa naitwa lastborn kule County Assembly ya Nakuru. Sisi ni firstborn wetu. Bwana Ndambuki, Mzuki, tafadhali fanyia kazi wa London Ward kazi, tutaungana pamoja sisi wote tukiwa viongozi ya Nakuru tufanye kazi. Kuna shida kubwa sana London Ward, hawana maji. Hiyo ndio utaanzia nao. Otherwise mbarikiwe sana mnaporudi Johnny Masses. We need peace in our Nakuru, in our county, na tunataka kikombe ya amani katika Nakuru County. Thank you so much the London people. We did successful election despite a lot of challenges in security caused by the security personnel themselves. And it should not happen again. And I'm saying this for reason known best to me. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Tulikuwa na by-elections in the Republic of Kenya. And what we saw is not something we would want in a modern Kenya. And ningetaka nikubushe viongozi wetu wa kiserikali that characteristics of a modern state, number 1 is the rule of law, number 2 is accountability through democracy, na ya mwisho is to have a strong state. And a strong state is an impartial state. Tuache kuigiza maneno ya serikali na polisi katika maneno ya siasa, kwa sababu hiyo ni kurudisha Kenya nyuma.
Expected Mr. Kadhuku and his team to take care of us, to protect the citizens, to make the elections free and fair. This behavior, we must call it as it is, that it is irresponsible, it's unacceptable. It's, it is something that we must make sure that is in the past, whether it was in Kabuchai, whether it was in Matungu, whether it was here in London. I am glad the DPP has ordered the Inspector General of Police to go to the bottom of this matter. And I have said I am willing to record a statement, if I'm called, on the things I saw that must become things of the past, must never go back there as citizens of this republic. I was very sad when I saw my friend, Fred Matiang'i, we used to hustle with him before he became a minister, when he was ordering courts to give certain amount of punishment to politicians. When in true sense, it is the court, it was because the court gave orders that protected Mr. Matiang'i from being prosecuted on the Ruara land case. The same court that protected him he must appreciate that all citizens of this republic deserve similar protection. And let me tell him, because I used to be a majority leader, power is transient. There was a time I used to laugh and joke and enjoy time with the president, and he sends me to do this and that and that. But I always had it in my conscience that this position I hold is temporary. I want to tell Matiang'i and all the team that I left behind, that position is still transient. Let us protect our country. Let's protect the values that are there for our nation. And that is really what we need. If we don't say these things, we are going to lie to ourselves. I'm glad my friend Arama took a small sabbatical to rest after a very bruising battle. But I want to tell him that we should meet in Nairobi. I'll buy him tea. And I tell him that goons and goonmanship is not the right way to run politics, so that all of us can be able to live as brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter who wins. What I learned from London is that you can come with guns, you can come with grenades, you can come with all power, but the citizens of Kenya have demonstrated that when they are determined to make a determination and decision using the ballot, they will make the right decision.
Thank the voters of London Ward for your support, for your withstanding violence, intimidation, and use of state agencies to try and intimidate you. You stood your ground and you decided to use the power of your vote to make the decision. And it is clear that the power of the people is mightier than the people in power. Thank you very much. And to Honorable Zuki, now serve your people. Thank you very much. And to our brother, A.K. Kenyanjui, may you rest in peace. Go well, you shall be missed, and we love you.
Violence begets violence. And we should not condemn violence when it goes against us, and when it favors us, we clap. The reality is, there was violence in Msambweni, there was violence in London, there was violence in Kakamega, in Kisii, and all those places. And therefore, we must agree, because it is inevitable that there will be other elections, because it is inevitable that politicians will want to come there. Why don't we give people, we campaign, after we have campaigned, we keep off and let them come and decide for themselves. So I think this matters that Parliament needs to guide us, sit together, and let us not imagine when violence is in my favor, I don't talk. When it goes on the other side, then I become a victim. The truth is, voter bribery and violence continue to be a major determinant of how elections go. And that is not the Kenya we want. I believe that the people of London, Nakuru, and Kenya are wise and capable of making the right decision. So give your policies, we let them decide, and we must appreciate that there is life beyond politics. That politics is not everything. For us as politicians, it is do or die. It is life and death. But for the ordinary people, there are other more pressing issues that they have to deal with. So I want to end it there.
Na sisi kama serikali ya Kenya, msimamo wa katiba na msimamo wa serikali ya Kenya ni kwamba jeshi ya polisi is an independent police force that is not expected to take instructions from anybody. And therefore, we expect from our police force, and the government of Kenya has gone out of its way to make sure that our police service has the requisite personnel, the requisite infrastructure, the necessary equipment for them to discharge their mandate and responsibility as per the Constitution. And we expect the IG to provide the leadership and the command that will ensure that we have a professional, independent police service that does not bend to political interests or partisan considerations. I want to say, for the record, that the police service have no excuse. They should not blame or try to apportion blame to any group or side. They have a duty to ensure that every citizen, their property and rights are protected. The biggest threat that this country can face is if the police service is partisan or responds to political interests. That will pose the biggest danger to our country. I want to ask the IG and the police service, the Constitution is very clear that the police is an independent service, and therefore they must discharge their responsibility as required of them by the Constitution, and they will carry the responsibility if they don't measure up to what the Constitution expects of them. An independent judiciary is the pillar to the rule of law. We expect that the judiciary will stand up to be counted as an independent institution and not to listen to any lectures from any quarters. It is expected, and we have confidence, that the men and women in our judiciary have the necessary professionalism and competence to be able to discharge their mandate and their responsibility independently as is required of them by the Constitution. Everybody should do their bit. We will do our bit in the executive. Independent institutions should do theirs. The legislature should do theirs. And the judiciary must stand to defend all the other institutions by making sure that they are independent, they are professional, and they act in accordance with the Constitution. That is the safest route to a stable, prosperous, and democratic Kenya. And we expect all institutions to play their role without the unnecessary blame game that is going on.